everyone. Adam here, So Wizard Podcast. I got another interview for you today. I had a lot of fun talking to this guy. His name is Dade Elza. He's got two projects, either recently coming out or just came out, depending on the project. First, he's playing a character named Fred in the upcoming Mystery Incorporated series. And Dade also is starring in a new action movie that just came out about a week ago called 86 Melrose Avenue, and there will be a review of that to follow. I like to put out the interviews first so you could get into the person and hear their insider look at the project before you hear me going on about having just watched the thing. Really cool guy, had a lot of fun talking to him, and with two projects coming out, I really appreciate him making the time to come on and talk to us about his work. So enjoy. Hey everyone, Adam here, So Wizard Podcast. I'm sitting down with Dade Elza, who has a new series coming out. How you doing, Dade?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for taking the time to come on. This should be fun.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Awesome. Before we get to your series, which is Mystery Incorporated, I always like to ask creative people to go all the way back to the beginning and kind of give their journey. Like, what was your spark? When did you know you wanted to be an actor?
Oh man. So growing up, I grew up with comic books, and so DC was big in for me as a kid. Justice League books, all of that. But the Batman animated series was something that I really enjoyed, and so obviously when the Tim Burton films and the Joel Schumacher films came out, I enjoyed them a lot. But my mom said I always used to tell her that I wanted to be Robin because I wasn't old enough to be Batman, and Robin was something I could feasibly become. So when I saw Chris O'Donnell portray Robin in Batman Forever, I was like, oh, well, if I'm an actor, I can be Robin. And so from a young age, it's the weirdest story, but I decided I wanted to be an actor because I thought that was my fast track to becoming Robin. And then it evolved over the years, and I fell in love with the craft. And I've just had a blast getting to step into other people's shoes, whether it be Fred Jones or a different character. It's a fantastic time.
That's awesome. The marketing worked. They created Robin to get young readers and then viewers in. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So Chris O'Donnell was the first Robin, or was it just the first live action on screen Robin for you?
He was the first live action on screen Robin that I saw and was like, wait a minute. So he gets to play Robin because he's an actor. So then I should do that. It's the weirdest like come around to get into it, but it's a fun story.
Yeah, and that's cool that Batman the Animated Series was your inspiration, because we're probably right around the same age, and that show was huge for all the comic book fans our age.
Oh, I loved that show growing up, and like that was a golden age, I think, for comic book shows. We had Batman the Animated Series, we had Spider-Man, we had the X-Men series going on, and oh man, I definitely miss those shows.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely. It's cool that they're more readily available now. I'm hoping that animated series, they dump the whole thing on HBO Max soon.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that there's like a possibility they might revive the animated series as well.
That would be great.
Who knows?
Have you checked out that Harley Quinn cartoon on HBO Max?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's very
hilarious.
much with the look and feel.
Oh yeah. Very much so. I think my favorite character in that is King Shark.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. I'm only a couple episodes in, but I was like, wow, this show grew up with the animated series fans. Like, it's right there.
Absolutely. It definitely looks like it's straight out of
it. Okay. So sorry, back to your story. I went off on a tangent there. You wanted to become Robin, so you decide I'll become an actor, then I can play Robin. What was your first step in the acting journey?
So I joined a drama club at my middle school. And so I just started doing the thing there. Well, actually, I guess more even earlier than that, I did skits and like plays at my church and stuff. And then that graduated into school and doing a little bit of drama in like middle school, and I started growing up with it there, and then lost track in high school because sports was the big thing in my life. Growing up in Texas, high school football is king, so you
Oh
can't
yeah.
do both. You can't do both. And so I was like, well, then I guess I'm choosing football. Let's go. Let's do it all in. And I got a bad injury my senior year, and it brought me back to acting. And I've been doing it ever since. I started doing musical theater, and that really kind of helped me fall in love with it again. And from there, I just decided I wanted to try film and moved out to LA, and I've been having a great time.
Nice. That's awesome. It's too bad about the injury, but I guess if it kind of put you back on the path you wanted, maybe it's a silver
Absolutely.
lining.
I mean, I like to think everything happens for a reason. And so, that wasn't my path. And I found hopefully a better one.
For sure, yeah. When you were doing sports and everything, did you ever take up any martial arts? Because, Batman and Robin.
I started to. I like to say that I am a yellow belt in 3 different types of karate, but I didn't follow through. I've done a lot of stage combat and stuff, though. I have a lot of stunt training that I've gotten later in life, whether it be like different weapons or like parkour, martial arts, tricking kind of stuff.
Oh, cool. So you got to train in that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
That just looks like it's the most fun thing ever.
Oh, it really is. It really is. I used to do the show at Harry Potter Land in Universal with the bow staffs. And so my job every day was to just swing a stick at somebody else. It was so fun.
You did the theme park stunt show?
Yeah.
That's really cool. How does that work if you want to go into that?
Oh, sure. I mean, it was that show in particular was actually a pretty grueling process. So you have the audition, obviously, but for that one, it was I was part of the first team rolling it out, and they really wanted to get the point across that this was a militaristic type of school that was coming in to Hogwarts, and so they actually set us up with the guy who trained Ryan Gosling or not Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper for American Sniper.
Okay.
And so we went through like 2 weeks of solid boot camp to get ready for that. And all the while, we're also getting this intense bow staff training, quarterstaff fighting training. And I really appreciate it. Skills that I've been able to take further and do other things with. I have a movie that's coming out on the 20th of this month called 86 Melrose Avenue, where I play a Marine. And I was able to draw on that boot camp experience to help bring those qualities to life as well. And so it's really cool how different things work together to help you later down the line.
That's really cool. And it is good that you get to bring it into your, it's another thing on your acting resume.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So you have 2 things coming up. You have Mr. Incorporated and 86 Melrose?
Yes, I sure do.
Oh, okay, cool. Wanted to make sure I didn't get wrong in the ticker there.
Yeah, no worries.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Have you been able to do stunt work on movies before this one?
So I like to say that I'm an actor who tries to do my own stunts. I know that being that I've done some stunt things, I know that the stunt community does things that I could never do in a million years. And so when it comes to certain things, I would leave it to the professionals. I have friends who are professional stuntmen on Marvel shows, Star Wars shows, and they do excellent work. And hopefully one day I can get them to double me. But but yeah, I do love to do the little ones, and like being in the midst of like fight scene is a lot of fun. There's a rush that being in that. When you actually are in that situation yourself, I personally feel like it helps you to get in the mindset of the character a little more than watching somebody else do it for you. But obviously there are certain things that are way too dangerous, and that's why you have the trained professionals that do it. But,
understandable, right? Do what you can, but let them, since they focus on it, do their thing.
Absolutely. So I've only this is the first film that I had an actual fight scene. I've done other YouTube projects where I do a bunch of fighting and a little bit of stunt work, but this was the first big one that I actually had a little bit of of fighting in.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think we went a little bit out of order. I'm just,
Oh, no
you have
worries.
an interesting journey. So,
Thank you.
so your first return to acting was in musical theater. Is that something you're still pursuing?
Not currently, but it is a love of mine, and I would love to be in a musical movie at some point. I think that'd be awesome. But it's definitely what brought me back into the game. I don't claim to be a great singer by any means, though, so I figure I'll let the professionals handle that as well.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say no, that's for sure.
Awesome. You have a really diverse quiver of skills.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So from the theater, you moved to LA.
Mhm.
And did you just do the traditional thing, like you got an agent and just started hitting the pavement, finding those auditions?
Oh yeah, the traditional thing, all the way to living in my car for a couple weeks. It's
rough.
It's a crazy. They don't tell you in the brochure how to come to LA properly. And growing up in Texas, and then I lived in Missouri for a little bit as well. I was used to a low standard of living, and so I accumulated an amount of money that I thought would be enough to come to Los Angeles. It was not, but it's a learning curve when you get out here, and absolutely, as soon as you get here, you want to hit the ground running. You want to approach agencies. You want to get as many auditions as you can. Thankfully, nowadays we have the internet, and we have things like Actors Access and casting networks that we can get online and look for auditions that didn't used to have back in the day. And so that was really helpful first getting out here. And when you first get here, you get a lot of no's. And so it's not for the faint of heart, this industry. And but if you keep at it, it's very rewarding to get even one yes. And as soon as you get that one yes, it charges you up for the next 100 no's.
That's a good way to put it, and I think that's good advice for people who are just starting their journey.
Absolutely.
Do you find the I don't want to phrase it in too negative of a way, but like was all the constant no's when you first got there? Did you ever have a moment where you're like, what am I doing here? Like
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've talked about it before. Like you walk into an audition, and even nowadays, now it's a little easier because everything's on camera, self tapes with COVID going on. But
right.
You walk to an audition room and you stare at like a room full of people that look just like you. I've gone in auditions where there's a guy that not only looks like he could be my twin, he's wearing the exact same outfit as I am. And so it's the casting directors are not short on options. And it's not always about your performance in the room either, because your producers get involved. There's that thing called the resume that they look at. And so it does get daunting for a while. And you start to wonder, like, well, I'm seeing these same 10 people at every audition, but I'm not getting anything. Like, is this really what I am here to do? Like, am I really supposed to do this? And that's when you really, like, for me, I just really had to make the decision to dig in deeper and keep going. And that all you need is a shot. And once you get a shot, your resume starts to grow, and then producers are more likely to pick you over new people. So me and my friends have always talked about how like it's the hardest workers. Like, you just got to keep pushing the grind, and eventually something will fall.
For sure. Okay. That is also good advice for people who are just getting out there and starting. Because, as an outsider, we always hear that it's just like an industry of rejection, and you just have to grit down and keep moving if you want it bad enough.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like it's, from the outside looking in, there's not a lot of understanding about how the process works. I mean, I remember one of my first decent auditions I got. I called my dad because I was so excited, and he was like, well, did you get the part? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I just did the audition. And then he calls me the next day and he goes, did you get the part? And I was like, Dad, it was just yesterday. And he was like, well, you should call and tell him you're still interested. And I was like, that's not how it works. So, I think the biggest thing to do is to, when you first get out here, really try to understand the industry and figure out what you're getting yourself into, and make sure that it's something that you're willing to get into.
It seems like a tough industry to try to crack ahead of time because no two people have the same way in.
Oh no. I mean, you hear stories like what's Josh Hartnett was sitting at like I think he was sitting on the porch of like a frozen yogurt place on his first day in LA. He had just moved in and like took a break from moving to go get some frozen yogurt, I think is what it was. And somebody walked by from like UTA or like some big talent agency and was like, "You have a great look. Have you ever considered acting?" And he's like, "Actually, that's what I moved out here for." And he gets a contract. And then you have people like James McAvoy has talked about how hard he had to work and how much he had to do to get his break. And so no one has the same journey. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is that anytime I catch myself trying to compare my journey with someone else's, I have to remind myself that like there is no carbon copy, like there's no formula for how to make it. It's just your journey is your journey. And in the end, you just hope that your journey can show someone else maybe a shortcut to get somewhere they want to go, or show them how to get ahead a little bit.
Yeah, dodge a pitfall or two.
Oh yeah.
That is interesting, and it's so intimidating that it's a wonder there's so many people who go for it.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's the glamour, you know.
For sure, yeah.
And that's another thing is like you've got to really want it. It's got to be really something that you believe that in your heart and soul that you want to do, and something that fulfills you, because like I said, so many no's before any yeses. And so if it's just for the fame, you're going to burn out real quick.
Right. So early in LA, what was that first big yes that made it all like, oh, we did it, I'm here?
Oh man. So I think my first decent yes, I did a few commercials for Six Flags, and so that was nice. But after when you're first starting out, every time you go up, you go down, and there's like a little bit of a pitfall for a bit. I think my first like steadiness was after I did my first film, You Can't Have It. I think that was the first big like, okay, like I'm in the room with Armand Asante right here, and Rob Gronkowski is over here, and so like things are starting to happen, and I feel like I'm actually in the room. And so after that, like I actually felt like I was working in a sense. And so I think that was the first one that really made me realize like, okay, like this is what I'm going to do. Things are coming through. So let's not give up just yet.
Nice. That's good. Yeah. And is it one of those scenarios where you get that even the commercial work is now you have camera experience on your resume through an agency, like you have all the proper credentials around it, so it makes it easier to go for the next one?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at like John Travolta's first gig was a toothpaste commercial, and then you've got Steve Carell did commercials for like I think he did one for Subway. I know he did one for like Brown's Chicken. And so like you don't often hear about it or know, but like a lot of people who are big stars now started off doing that kind of stuff. And so it really helps you learn how to be on set, if that makes sense. And like I have a commercial running right now at Regal Cinemas, and that was a really fun experience. It was my first time getting to experience with a lot of intense VFX and a lot of green screen work. And those are things that you can't just learn on the fly by yourself, And so any job can be an opportunity to learn something and to further your experience and your craft and your resume and things that you can use later down the line. So yeah, absolutely. Commercials are just as important when you're first starting out, for sure.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people who maybe do like the traditional 9 to 5 thing, and I don't want to, be gross talking about money, but commercials pay the bills.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you get into the Union National commercials or like Super Bowl commercials and stuff like that. I have friends who have done a commercial and it paid for the whole year and of just like bills, so they could keep auditioning. And so
yeah, that takes the pressure off. You can focus on the work.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
That's awesome. Well, since you have two pretty sizable projects coming up, we should probably jump into those. Um,
I guess so, right?
so which came first, Mr. Incorporated or 86 Melrose Avenue?
Well, actually, so 86 Melrose Avenue is something that the director Lily Mata has been working on for a long time. She approached me at the premiere of the first movie I talked about, You Can't Have It. And she was like, I have this idea, and my script is going into festivals, and I just kind of want to chat with you about it. I was like, all right, sure. And fast forward a little bit, we had coffee a few times, talked about the script, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I really was hoping I could be a part of it. She submits the script into some festivals. It actually won an award at Sundance, the script did, and she got the financing to make the movie. And I think we shot it 2 years, or no, like a year and a half ago. It's not this past February, not the February 2019. That's when it was. Okay. And so it was like this journey of a few years, and we got it done. And she calls me. She's like, hey, so I'm getting that project made. Do you want to come audition? And I was like, absolutely. And so yeah, that one's been in the works for a while. And it was definitely a labor of love by everyone involved. And I'm really excited for it to be out there and to see what people think of it.
Yeah, definitely. And so you were attached early, before it was even a movie.
Well, it was thought of, for sure.
Thought of.
I didn't for sure get the role until after the audition.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was an honor just to be in the talks and in the consideration.
Yeah. And so the writer director is a friend of yours?
Well, we met at the premiere of You Can't Have It, and then we developed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I met her there, and since then, yes, we've become great friends.
Okay, so she definitely saw you for the role pretty early on. At least had an inkling.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were kind of going over the script and everything.
Yeah, and so I was very honored that she saw that in me, because 86 Melrose Avenue is like a psychological like a drama, and the You Can't Have It film was very much a comedy. And so I was very, very honored and flattered that she saw in my performance in a comedy that I could pull out dramatic, because not everybody can see that. Yeah.
So what was that audition process like? Was it more the physical, or was it more the drama?
Definitely the drama. So like first audition out the gate, it was like I said, I walk in, a bunch of people look just like me. And then there were also two other roles that were auditioning at the same time that they were doing. They wanted to have us do a screen test as well the same day, if they liked our take. And so I went in and I read my scene, and then they paired me with Greg Rizarian and Anastasia and Antonia, who ended up being in the film with me. So it was really cool. Like, we got together in that first audition, and we just kind of like had a quick huddle beforehand, and we're like, let's just put it all out there. Like, let's work together, let's act off of each other, and let's let it ride. And I guess it impressed them, because they brought us back for the callback together, and then brought us back for the film together. And we were all very excited to see each other on set, because we really, I think we really meshed in that room for the first time. And it's been awesome to work with them throughout that process.
So it's kind of an audition and a chemistry test at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's great. You all got it, because you kind of had that, at least the first couple bricks in the foundation planted. So
yeah. And it's crazy. It's not often that you have an audition paired with somebody and then you see them there on set. So I've had plenty where I'm like, wow, I had a really good interaction with that other person. I hope that they're there and that's somebody else. But every once in a while when that happens, it's a really good time.
That's really cool. And when is 86 Melrose available for people?
So it comes out on the 20th of April, and it's available on all Amazon Prime, DirecTV, Voodoo, tons of different platforms. You check it out on even like on demand on all cable platforms. So you can look for it, and it's it'll be there.
Awesome. Did that one get submitted to film festivals? I know the script did.
Yes, it actually did. And unfortunately, we weren't able to go to the big ones because COVID canceled the big ones.
Yeah,
like
that was my next question.
South by Southwest. But we did have the ones that decided to go virtual, and it was very humbling. We were able to come out with many awards, and it was really, really cool. A really cool experience.
That is cool. I hope you get to see it with an audience one day, because I imagine that's kind of like the icing on the cake.
I hope so. That would be amazing. Because we also didn't get to have our premiere, and so Jim O'Hare is in the movie from Parks and Rec, but we didn't have any scenes together, and so I was really looking forward to meeting him.
Yeah,
we didn't have the premiere, so hopefully one day we can even do that.
Nice. Yeah, that would be good. I don't know what they would call it, like an after the fact premiere, but
right.
But that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so how did Mystery Incorporated come about?
Wow. So Mystery Incorporated has been something that's been on my mind for years. And it's been in many different variations throughout the years. And we actually filmed two and a half years ago, we filmed a short film version that was much grittier, much darker, and basically created to be a horror version of Scooby-Doo. And we filmed it, and we looked at it, and we were just like, that's not it. That's not what it is. And we had to make the very difficult decision to go back to the drawing board. And it was the best decision we ever made. And we revamped it all, created it in what it is today. And we were able to shoot that teaser that's out online right now, right before COVID hit. And we were planning on shooting the first episode in July or no, it's going to be out in July. We're going to film in May, and then COVID hit. And so unfortunately, we have not been able to shoot just yet, but we're gearing up. We're looking into things. A lot of really cool things are happening behind the scenes that promise to make it even bigger and better. So fingers crossed that everything keeps shooting upwards.
Yeah, very cool. It seems like things are opening up again, so hopefully you get to get going soon.
Yes, certain locations have been harder than others, but it's
I'm sure. Yeah. Have you done a long-term series before?
I have not. I have done like a few episodes on some like YouTube series. I just shot 2 episodes of a new Western series coming out to Inspire Network called Wild West Chronicles. But this is my first big like open-ended, let's see how far it goes kind of thing.
Yeah.
So and the fan support has been just overwhelming, and I can't thank everyone enough for all their support and just kind words. And I'm just, as a fan myself, I'm just very, very happy that the idea has been well received, because you get that idea in your head and you're like, this is really cool, I think, and I'm gonna do this, and everybody's gonna love it. But then you're like, I don't know, is everybody gonna love it, or is it going to be something that people think is like trash? And so it's been really cool to see that the response has been overwhelmingly positive, and it's very humbling.
The idea makes sense. A horror version of Scooby-Doo, because people our age, even a little bit older than us, even now younger than us, they keep making the show. Everyone's grown up on Scooby-Doo, one version or another. So
absolutely
makes sense.
I think too, like with the success of shows like Supernatural, which I didn't realize until after we started doing this. I guess they did a Scooby-Doo crossover episode.
Yeah, they did.
I haven't seen it. I need to watch it. I haven't seen it. I watched the first few seasons of the show, and unfortunately I fell off when I was like moving around. But it just makes sense. People love that kind of story, and honestly, like the story of Scooby-Doo lends itself so like perfectly to something like that. And so when you have a show that people were championing and supporting so hard, and there's that hole left on like the network now, and so we just hope that we can offer a little bit of some way to kind of fill that void and give some entertainment close to that.
Right. I don't know if you can say too much more about it since it's still in the relatively early stages, but does it have that kind of horror with a sense of humor aspect to it?
Oh, absolutely. I think that um, Scooby-Doo wouldn't be Scooby-Doo without some humor. You know, it's something that we all grew up on. It's part of the lore. They have that relationship with one another. So there's definitely some humor in it, and then even like Supernatural had the bickering brothers back and forth, and there's that humor, and so there would definitely be humor injected in, and not just for the sake of humor that makes sense with the story and makes sense with the characters, so that they help to create that bond that eventually becomes the Mystery Gang.
I think that horror thriller genre where you inject in a little bit of humor just makes it so much more accessible for such a wider audience.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because
It
not
makes it
everybody,
easier. Yeah.
yeah, and not everybody comes and likes just the jump scares and the crazy the being scared part. The levity helps people get through something like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a roller coaster. You get
Oh,
that kind
absolutely.
of safe scare, and then you get a little bit of a break to catch your breath, and then here you go again.
Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, you've been very busy, which is awesome. Has COVID, I mean, I'm sure it slowed things down for you, but have you been able to, one, keep auditioning as an actor, but have you done any kind of like pivot, maybe writing or something like that?
Well, so I wrote the entire pilot episode for Mystery Incorporated, and COVID gave me a chance to revisit that and really solidify it even more than it already was, and so that was really nice. That was back when I thought it was going to be 2 weeks of doing nothing, and so I spent every day on the computer just getting everything together for that, and then it slowly turned into months and months, and so we've been doing what we can to stay busy. A lot of times it's like there are those days where you wake up and you try to stay productive and it's like the world is shut down. So I'm just going to sit on the couch. but,
Yeah.
but there have been slowly but surely auditions have been starting to roll back in. Projects have started up a little bit, ones that can. And so it's been getting really, really more busy here in the past few months. And I've been having a great time with that. I definitely missed it over the past year, but a break is good every now and again. It helps hit the recharge button and it helps you reevaluate. And like we said earlier, it really solidified for me that like, nope, this is what I need to be doing because I miss it so much. Like I love it so much. I'm like itching to get back to it. So
That's definitely a good sign. Yeah, because if you were a year and you're like, I could just keep doing this.
yeah. Oh no, it killed me. It killed me sitting around not being able to do anything because you reach a certain point in pre-production where you can't pre-produce anything else.
Right. You can only rewrite it so many times.
Yeah. And so you get to a point where it's like, well, I'd like to do something and be productive, but there's literally nothing I can get done right now. So it's nice to know that there's a little bit more opening up to start to move forward a little bit again.
Very cool. This has been kind of coming up pretty regularly. I guess, COVID, you can't help but talk about it. I mean, it's affected everybody in so many ways since it's been so long.
Oh, yeah.
Do you prefer the self-tape audition process, or do you like the energy in the room going in person audition process?
I think for an initial audition, I really enjoy the self-tape, but it's there's a thing with actors. Like I said, you walk in, you see countless people look just like you, and that can mess with your head sometimes. And so it is nice to just be like, well, the only person I have to worry about is this guy, and so I'm just gonna film it and then send it in. But what I really love that they've been doing is because I do miss that personal interaction with the casting directors. And I have had a few that have been Zoom auditions. And so those are really fun because I still get that personal connection as well. And so I set up my whole area, and then they pop on and they give me notes and input, and we get to have a little bit of a banter. I think for callbacks, though, 100% in person. Nothing beats like getting to know each other in person. And because casting directors, really, one of the things they look for is like, is this somebody that is going to be able to be on set and get along with people? Is this somebody that people are going to want to work with? And vice versa for an actor. It's nice to be like, okay, these people are very nice. They're welcoming. Like they care about what they're casting. And I definitely miss that in-person part of it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Everything you're saying makes a lot of sense, that you not only you want the part to do the work, but you don't want it to be a nightmare experience.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think any actor out there can testify that we've all had those gigs that you get there and it's like, okay, this is not everything that it was cracked up to be. And but I mean, I feel like that's a rite of passage.
Yeah, I guess it's something unavoidable. You just try to reduce it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's all, like I said, to add things to the resume so you can get to those bigger, better projects where everybody's just stoked to be there and everybody's really excited to get the work done. And you have that kind of that set family. And that's one of my favorite things about this job is that you form all these great relationships, and you build this family to come together and create this product, whether it be the actors or the producers, the directors, the crew. It's everybody comes together and everybody gets to know each other and has like a really good time for like however long the production is. And that's my favorite part.
Nice. Well, hopefully you get back to doing the more traditional aspects of it soon.
Fingers crossed. I think that things are going to start gearing up. Where are you located at?
I'm in upstate New York. I'm a few hours north of the city.
Perfect. I know that out here in California, we're about to start. Everybody's about to have access to the vaccine on the 15th of April. And so I know different states are doing different things, but I think that's going to help everything kind of start to gear up and open back up and get the industry really moving again.
Good. Yeah, we're pretty close to doing what California's doing. I think we're like a week ahead on the vaccine being open to most people 16 plus.
Nice.
Yeah, so a couple theater chains have opened up again, very limited capacity, of course. We've had restaurants for a while. I think California shut down restaurants like for a third time or something.
Yeah, we had outdoor dining, and we just started to open up limited indoor seating. So that's nice. We're getting it's so weird to go eat inside after a year of not being able to.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels kind of wrong. Like, what? I'm not supposed to be in here.
Right.
But if anything, I think the past year has just kind of shown us everything that we take for granted, and really excited to get back to some of it.
Yeah, definitely. And, you have nice weather all year round, which is good, but we were really locked down the last few months.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah. How was that?
I mean, I work from home and my wife was working from home. So for us, it was not that bad. We're okay with it. But of course you get stir crazy. And when you have like 4 or 5 days on end that it's like a high of 10 degrees, we can't even walk the dog in the neighborhood. So you're just really like, I got to do something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whew.
Yeah. But it's nice out now. We're coming through it. So
there you go. You made it through.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you taking the time out to talk to me. That was a lot of fun. Of course.
Anytime.
I wish you the best of luck with everything. It seems like you're keeping busy. Got a couple cool projects coming.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I wish the best to you. I'm really looking forward to checking out the podcast, and I hope
definitely
success.
Yeah. Thank you. If you want to tell everybody, like, give them your socials where they can find you online or anything like that.
Oh, absolutely. So all of my socials are very easy. I keep them all the same. It's at Dade Elza, DADELZA. So you can find me with that on pretty much I'm on pretty much all social platforms, so you can find me there. If you're looking for business inquiries, my management is Trinity Artists International.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And like I said, good luck. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on, Adam. Have a great day.
You too. I'd like to thank Dade one more time for taking the time to come on the show to talk to me about his projects. The guy is clearly keeping really busy, which is awesome that an actor like this gets to keep busy with everything that's been going on. It's a really tough industry to be in, given COVID and everything like that. So I'm sure it's a lot of work, but the fact that he's finding the work and coming out with new cool projects is excellent. So everyone make sure you check out Mystery Incorporated when and where you can, and 86 Melrose Avenue, which is on VOD as of now. Also, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow our audience. Tons more interviews, tons more new movie coverage coming your way. I just wrote out scripts for 5 videos to record, and that's in addition to the backlog I already have. So definitely subscribe. You're not going to want to miss out. Speaking of not wanting to miss out, make sure you listen to So Wizard Podcast every single week wherever you get your podcasts. SoWizardPodcast.com is your resource for reviews, recommendations, videos, merchandise, and more. So Wizard Podcast can also be found on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you get multiple monthly bonus shows for it. And we love hearing feedback, so drop us a note in the comments, leave us something on social media. All of our accounts can be found after the show and in the show notes. And on a more personal note, a good friend and I released a comic book at the beginning of this year. It's an ongoing series. It's called Social Studies. It's a slice of life comedy comic about the high school experience, all the insanity that goes along with it, and it's all done through the skewed prism of the 90s cartoons that we grew up on and love. You can check it out at socialstudiescomic.com, or we are on all the major social media platforms, Social Studies Comic or Social Studies CB, depending on the character length for the platform. Thanks for taking a few minutes to check that out. Thanks for watching the video, and thanks to So Wizard for letting me promote my comic book at the end of their videos. Take care.